The Los Angeles Lakers faced a difficult challenge on Wednesday night as they traveled to San Antonio to take on the Spurs in the second game of a back-to-back series. The purple and gold entered the matchup significantly short-handed, missing several key players from their regular rotation. Most notably, LeBron James was ruled out with left foot joint arthritis and sciatica, while rising star Austin Reeves will be sidelined for at least the next month recovering from a calf injury that has kept him off the court. With these crucial absences, the Lakers turned to Luka Doncic to carry the offensive load against a San Antonio team that boasts one of the league's most formidable defensive units. Doncic, who has been shouldering significant responsibility throughout this stretch of injuries, delivered an impressive statistical performance despite the team's ultimate defeat. The talented forward put together a triple-double, finishing the night with 38 points, 10 rebounds, and 10 assists in what proved to be a valiant individual effort. The game's narrative unfolded in two distinct halves. During the opening two quarters, Los Angeles managed to stay competitive with their hosts, matching San Antonio's intensity and keeping the score relatively close. The Lakers demonstrated resilience and fight, refusing to let the absence of their stars dictate the tempo of the contest. However, as the second half progressed, the physical and mental toll of playing consecutive nights began to show on the visiting squad. The Spurs capitalized on the Lakers' fatigue in the latter stages of the game, pulling away to secure a convincing victory with a final score of 107-91. San Antonio's defense intensified their pressure on Doncic, successfully forcing him into 7 turnovers throughout the contest. The Lakers struggled to find their rhythm from the free throw line as well, with Doncic converting just 10 of 16 attempts while the team collectively made only 14 of 22 shots from the charity stripes. After the final buzzer, Doncic addressed the media and expressed his pride in how his teammates competed despite the challenging circumstances. He acknowledged that losing is never easy, but emphasized the character and determination shown by every player who took the court. Doncic specifically referenced head coach JJ Redick's post-game comments, noting that the entire squad should feel proud of their effort given the adversity they faced playing without LeBron James, who remains an irreplaceable presence on both ends of the floor. The Slovenian star displayed remarkable maturity in his assessment of his own performance, refusing to simply accept the impressive numbers he posted. Instead, Doncic identified specific areas where he believes he could have performed better, including his missed free throws and the 7 turnovers that disrupted the Lakers' offensive flow. He also noted that the team created several quality scoring opportunities that simply did not fall, suggesting that better shot making could have changed the outcome of the contest. The Lakers' shooting struggles extended beyond the free throw line, as they found it difficult to convert open looks against San Antonio's disciplined defensive scheme. The Spurs' reputation as one of the NBA's premier defensive teams was on full display, as they consistently rotated, communicated, and contested shots throughout the 48 minutes. This defensive prowess has been a hallmark of San Antonio's season, and presented a formidable challenge for a Lakers team already depleted of key offensive weapons. Looking ahead, the Lakers face another significant test as they return home to host the Milwaukee Bucks on Friday night. The Bucks, despite their own inconsistent season with a 16 wins and 21 losses record, present a different set of challenges that will require Los Angeles to elevate their performance. With questions surrounding the availability of several injured players, including the ongoing uncertainty about LeBron James' status for back-to-back games, the Lakers will need contributions from across their entire roster to compete at a high level. The loss to San Antonio, while disappointing, should not overshadow the resilience and competitive spirit displayed by this Lakers squad. Playing on consecutive nights against one of the league's best defensive teams without multiple rotation players is an unenviable task for any franchise. The fact that Los Angeles remained competitive for much of the contest speaks to the character of the roster and the leadership provided by players like Doncic, who continues to shoulder an enormous responsibility during this difficult stretch of the season. The partnership between Doncic and James has become one of the most intriguing storylines of this Lakers campaign. Since joining forces earlier this season, the two superstars have developed a unique chemistry that has allowed Los Angeles to remain competitive despite various roster challenges. Doncic has publicly stated that he has learned tremendously from playing alongside James, drawing inspiration from the veteran's basketball IQ, work ethic, and approach to leadership both on and off the court. The Los Angeles Lakers received encouraging news regarding their injury situation as veteran point guard Gabe Vincent made his return to the court Wednesday night against the San Antonio Spurs. Vincent had been absent from the lineup for 9 consecutive games while recovering from a back injury that had prevented him from contributing to the team's rotation during a critical stretch of the season. In his first game back, Vincent provided a solid contribution despite the team's defeat in San Antonio. The experienced guard knocked down a pair of three-pointers and finished the contest with 6 points, 2 rebounds, and 2 assists, showing no obvious signs of limitation from the injury that had kept him sidelined. His ability to space the floor and provide reliable perimeter shooting was immediately evident as he demonstrated the shooting touch that made him an attractive acquisition for the Lakers. Following the game, Vincent spoke candidly with the media about his return to action and how his body responded to the demands of NBA competition. The guard expressed satisfaction with how he felt during and after the contest, noting that he had worked diligently during his rehabilitation period to prepare himself for this moment. Vincent revealed that he attempted to simulate game conditions as much as possible during his recovery, participating in workouts against team managers and even getting some practice time against healthy players when circumstances allowed. The veteran guard emphasized his confidence about continuing to play without setbacks, though he acknowledged the importance of monitoring how his body responds in the coming days. Vincent specifically mentioned that the flight home and the subsequent recovery period would be telling indicators of whether the back injury has truly been resolved. However, his optimism was clear as he stated his belief that he would be ready to suit up for the team's next contest. Vincent also addressed the frustration that has accompanied his injury-plagued start to the season. The guard admitted that he had never previously dealt with a back injury during his professional career, making this particular setback a new and challenging experience. The unfamiliarity with this type of injury added an extra layer of difficulty to the rehabilitation process, as Vincent had to learn to manage and overcome a physical issue he had never encountered before. While grateful that the back injury only kept him out for approximately 3 weeks, Vincent acknowledged that the time away from the court felt much longer than it actually was. This sentiment is common among competitive athletes who struggle with the forced inactivity that injuries impose. For a player who takes pride in his availability and contributions to the team, watching from the sidelines can be an emotionally taxing experience. The back injury represents just one chapter in what has been a difficult start to Vincent's season with the Lakers. Earlier in the campaign, he missed 11 games due to an ankle injury that prevented him from establishing any meaningful rhythm or consistency with his new teammates. Combined with the recent back issue, Vincent has appeared in only 15 games this season, severely limiting his ability to integrate into the team's system and build chemistry with his fellow players. Despite these setbacks, Vincent's skill set remains valuable for a Lakers team that desperately needs depth and versatility in their backcourt rotation. His ability to play both on and off the basketball is particularly important given the current roster construction. Vincent can function effectively as a primary ball handler when needed, but he is equally comfortable operating as a spot-up shooter in lineups featuring other playmakers. This flexibility makes him an asset in various lineup configurations. The defensive capabilities that Vincent brings to the table should not be overlooked either. Throughout his career, he has earned a reputation as a tenacious on-ball defender who can match up against opposing guards and disrupt offensive schemes. His willingness to compete on the defensive end and his understanding of team defensive principles align well with the Lakers' emphasis on that side of the floor. With Austin Reeves expected to miss at least the next month recovering from his own calf injury, the Lakers will rely heavily on Vincent to absorb minutes in the backcourt rotation. The team's depth has been tested repeatedly this season, and having another reliable guard who can contribute in multiple areas becomes increasingly important as the schedule continues to present challenges. Vincent's return comes at a crucial time for Los Angeles as they navigate through a demanding portion of their schedule. The Lakers currently hold a 23 wins and 12 losses record, positioning them 4th in the Western Conference standings. However, maintaining this position will require consistent availability from their rotation players, making Vincent's health status a significant storyline moving forward. The Lakers' medical staff will undoubtedly monitor Vincent closely in the days ahead, ensuring that the back issue does not resurface and cause another prolonged absence. Both the player and the organization are hopeful that this return marks the end of his injury troubles and the beginning of a sustained period of availability that will allow him to make meaningful contributions to the team's success throughout the remainder of the season. A recent trade proposal from ESPN has sparked discussion among Lakers fans and NBA analysts as the Los Angeles franchise continues searching for solutions to address their defensive struggles this season. The suggested deal involves the Sacramento Kings and centers around the Lakers acquiring perimeter defender Keon Ellis in exchange for Dalton Knecht and a second-round draft pick in 2032. The trade concept emerged from ESPN's ongoing coverage of potential moves teams could make before the upcoming trade deadline. The proposal specifically targets Los Angeles' documented weaknesses on the defensive end of the floor, where the team has struggled to contain opposing offenses throughout the current campaign. Despite holding a respectable 23 wins and 12 losses record and sitting in 4th place in the Western Conference standings, the Lakers rank 23rd in defensive rating league-wide. The defensive concerns have become even more pronounced in recent weeks, with Los Angeles ranking 29th in defensive rating since the beginning of December. This significant drop-off has raised questions about whether the current roster construction provides enough defensive capability to compete with elite teams in playoff scenarios. The Lakers are currently allowing 116.6 points per game, placing them 16th in the league, while their negative net rating of -0.2 suggests that improvements are needed on both ends of the floor. ESPN's analysis highlighted Ellis as a natural fit for the Lakers' defensive needs. The 26-year-old guard has built a reputation as a hard-nosed defender capable of disrupting opposing backcourts. However, his three-point shooting has dropped from 42.9% in previous seasons to 35.5% this campaign, though his defensive prowess remains his primary value. ESPN's reporting suggests that Ellis's diminished offensive production might actually work in the Lakers' favor when it comes to trade negotiations. The lack of consistent scoring output could make him more attainable in a smaller-scale deal, as Sacramento may not demand premium assets for a player whose primary contribution comes on the defensive end. The Kings' inconsistent usage of Ellis further supports the notion that he might be available, as his playing time has fluctuated wildly throughout the season. Over his past 10 games, Ellis has experienced significant variation in minutes, logging at least 30 minutes twice while playing 10 or fewer minutes in 4 contests. This erratic pattern suggests Sacramento may not view him as essential long-term. With Ellis entering free agency this summer, the Kings face a decision about retaining him or extracting value through a trade. From Sacramento's perspective, acquiring Knecht provides appeal despite his struggles. The 24-year-old has a contract through 2027 to 2028, offering team control that could align with Sacramento's rebuild given their 8 wins and 29 losses record. Knecht has found it difficult to establish a consistent role this season, averaging 5.3 points and 1.7 rebounds per game, while shooting 44.1% from the field. He logs only 13.3 minutes across 30 games, limiting his ability to develop rhythm. ESPN cautioned that the proposed trade framework could become more complicated if Sacramento increases their asking price beyond what is currently suggested. The Lakers possess limited trade assets at their disposal, with only one tradable second-round pick in 2032 currently available. The franchise would likely prefer to preserve their lone tradable first-round selection in either 2031 or 2032 for a more impactful acquisition should one become available. The competitive market for perimeter defenders ahead of the trade deadline could also complicate matters for Los Angeles. Multiple teams across the league are searching for similar defensive-minded players, potentially driving up the cost in terms of assets required to complete such deals. The Lakers will need to carefully weigh whether Ellis represents the best use of their limited resources or if alternative options might provide better value. ESPN's analysis also highlighted the contractual benefits that Ellis would bring to Los Angeles beyond his on-court contributions. His $2.4 million free agent hold would allow the Lakers to utilize cap space during the offseason before exceeding the salary cap to re-sign him using bird rights. This financial flexibility could prove valuable as the franchise navigates the complex salary cap landscape while attempting to maintain championship-level talent. For now, both franchises continue their respective seasons while trade discussions remain largely theoretical. The Lakers prepare to host the Milwaukee Bucks on Friday night, while Sacramento faces the Golden State Warriors as they search for answers to their own struggles. Whether this particular trade proposal gains traction or fades into the background noise of deadline speculation remains to be seen, but it represents the type of marginal move that could help address specific weaknesses without mortgaging future assets.